It's time for the botched moment of the day. Bad call, dropped pass, horrible coaching. Did someone say the wrong thing? Let's get to it on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
We have Ben Solak about to join us, ESPN NFL analyst. Follow him on Twitter at Benjamin Solak. But first, we got to do our botched moment of the day. This is a guy that I used to work with for years in Milwaukee. Ryan Horvath, co-host of BetMGM Tonight, said this back in, I think it was July, and it's making its rounds now on social media.
I guarantee the Bears win a minimum of 10 games this season. If the Bears don't win at least 10 games this season, I will shave my eyebrows, my big-ass eyebrows, live here on this show, BetMGM Tonight. Brad Evans will fly him here to Washington, D.C., or to Bethesda, wherever he wants to come. He could shave my eyebrows. I'll also shave my head. I'll look like Edward Norton, like Edward Furlong in the 90s. That's what I'll do here. That's how confident I am in the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson knows the NFC North. Yeah, crank that stuff. I almost swore. That'd be bad.
Telling you, he's a closet Bears fan. He claims to be a Packers fan. He's a closet Bears fan. Now, will it be a botched moment at the end of the sea? Mr. Ben Solak joins us now on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. That's a bold call in July, I would say. Do we think he ends up shaving his eyebrows or not?
It'll be close. The Bears are definitely 6-3. It is also the case that the Bears are punching above their weight record-wise. Right? You go look at some of these wins. Last-second win against the Raiders. It took a fumble by the Commanders to sneak that one away. Giants one was obviously a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. They're probably closer to a 500 team, but hey, the first half of the season ran out nice, and they have a good shot of winning this upcoming week in Minnesota. So I'm guessing eyebrows safe, but I do think if there's a good candidate of a team that looked great in the first half of the year to regress in the second half of the year, that team is Chicago.
Obviously, we all hate the Bears here, so I hope they lose every game. But now I really want them to make sure they don't get to 10 because I want to see the dude without his eyebrows. I had to get you out, man. You are awesome. I love when you're out with me at Kimes. You do great work. Love everything about you. But when you went and broke down Monday night, the different inside zone running plays out of the shotgun that the Packers had ran this year and how it was pretty predictive, I guess you could say, when the Eagles did the calling out of which way the play was going and what it was. Packer fans got mad. Matt LaFleur said, hey, this happens in the NFL, right? It's not the first time it's happened to an NFL team. It happens from time to time. What's your response to that?
He's not wrong. It's absolutely the case that it happens from time to time. In fact, I would say it happens more frequently on a 2nd and 7 in the second quarter of a 10-3 game than we realize, right? Like, remember, this was Moro Ojomo, who was the one who kind of sniffed things out. He was a 7th-round pick out of Texas. He was a backup rotational player for them up until this season. Like, this is the NFL. You know, guys are much better at seeing things and reacting to things and picking up on tendencies than they tip their hands to in the media, and we give them credit for on the outside. So LaFleur is correct to say that, like, these sort of instances happen. Now, good self-scouting, good internal scouting catches these things, right? And you would hope that somebody in the Packers building is able to say, you know, over the course of the season, hey, you know, do we need to be looking at what we do with our short yardage runs in our hurry-up situations, right? Take the Eagles, for example. The first tush-push they ran against the Packers, they ran a change-up tush-push, right? They didn't shove it straight down the middle, but Jalen Hurts took a step to his left, and they ran that sneak off tackle there against the Packers. That's good internal self-scouting, saying, hey, we have tendencies other teams are going to pick up on them. Let's try to be a week ahead instead of a week behind. And so it's not an egregious sin. It just happens in a nationally televised game, on 4th down, after embarrassing loss to the Panthers, et cetera, and the snowball compounds.
Prior to that Carolina game and this last game against the Eagles, if you take the Packers scores against the wins and then their tie against Dallas and take the Cleveland game out, they were averaging over 30 points a game. Now, the last 2 weeks, obviously, it has stumbled badly, and now people are freaking out or asking Matt LaFleur about job security, questioning the identity of the offense, and so forth. Is there good reason to be doing this after 2 games, after they were playing so well earlier in the year?
A good reason is, I think, a bit of a stretch. I understand why it's happening, simply because Green Bay is a championship town and it's come with championship expectations. It's always going to be, you know, some urgency on that job. But when we say things like we're calling for Matt LaFleur's job or his job is in jeopardy, well, what's his job as the head coach and as the offensive play caller? It's to coach around the talent deficiencies and the injuries, right? And over the course of the last few weeks, we've really seen this offensive line start to struggle. And even as it's gotten fully healthy and the carousel has stopped, you don't have the caliber of play there that you're used to. You don't know if guys are banged up, getting old. Aaron Banks was a big free agent signing. He hasn't played up to that price tag necessarily. And then, of course, the injuries, right? We had Jaden Reed quite a while ago. This Tucker Kraft injury is an enormous one. He was the linchpin for that offense. And you're getting banged up receivers across the board, right? And Christian Watson and then Matthew Golden and Dontavian Wicks have all missed periods of time. And so when we say, oh, Matt LaFleur is coaching for his job the rest of the way, he is. His job is to be able to coach around these things and to excel despite it. And so if and when the Packers offense improves down the stretch, which I expect them to do, they have good players and a good coach, we will no longer be saying, oh, this is, Matt LaFleur's job calling for his job, because he will have done his job, which is, dealing with the deficiencies around him. And so I have confidence the Packers offense will look better down the stretch, because I have confidence that LaFleur is a good coach and will do this. If not, then a reckoning comes in the offseason.
I'm Ben Solak, ESPN NFL analyst. Follow him on Twitter at Benjamin Solak. I need to know your opinion on Jordan Love. I saw Dan Orlovsky, I think it was, Tuesday or Wednesday, talk about they need to take the handcuffs off Jordan Love, let him be more aggressive and throw the ball more. The one alarming stat I saw earlier in the week was after week 3, the Packers were like second or third in the NFL in play action usage rate, and Jordan Love was like 128 passer rating. From week 4 on, they're like 28th in the NFL in play action usage rate at that point. It's like they turned it off and decided not to do it, and I think that has a lot to do with what's going on with Jordan Love. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Dan's barking up the right tree there. Dan made the point, you don't pay the guy $55 million to just, not just protect the football, right? Play cautious ball. And it's tricky because that's exactly what they're paying Jalen Hurts $53 million for in Philadelphia, right? There are ways to do this. What Matt LaFleur wants to be on offense, where they are highly precise, they're surgical in the short areas of the field, they're able to string together these long drives, right? If you listen to his press conference after that Panthers game, he couldn't stop talking about it. He said we had a 10-play drive, a 9-play drive, a 9-play drive. We were moving the football, and then we just, they had the fumble, they had the penalties, they had the missed field goal, so on and so forth. So the mountain that LaFleur is trying to climb up, the road he's taking them down, it's not like it's pointless. It's not like there's no, goal at the end of the rainbow. No, there's worlds where you become a really balanced team, play great defense, run the football like the Chiefs and the Eagles last year. You can win these close games. And then in those moments, you need the explosives. You have a Christian Watson, you have a Jordan Love. However, they just are not consistent enough as a team. They're still a very young offense. I know we've been saying that for years, but it is true. It's just a bunch of young players. They're still a young offense. And then Love, as a quarterback, just is better when he plays fearlessly. He absolutely has some bad games. He had a 3-pick game in the playoffs against the Eagles last year. We have to remember this. But he makes his best throws, has the biggest positive impact on the game when he doesn't feel like if he makes a negative play, he's going to go to the sideline, get the offense taken away from him, and have to kind of play, dink and dunk point guard football the rest of the way. And so I agree with Orlovsky's larger take, which is that the best version of the Packers offense is one that emboldens and allows Love to make some of those mistakes, because he will overall pay you off with a lot more positive plays as well.
The one thing we were starting to see prior to him getting hurt was Tucker Kraft, it appeared to be becoming that number one guy for Jordan Love, and was having that breakout time finally, something that, locally here we were calling for last year to be the case and never got to that point. And it felt like Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love started to realize that. Well, then Tucker Kraft goes down. And now we're back in that same basket again, or in that same mode again, as far as who's going to be that guy. Do they have enough pieces around Jordan Love to overcome that Tucker Kraft injury when you start talking about making a run?
Yeah, they do. And they have the same problem they've always had, which is that it's not so easy as like, okay, throw the ball at Justin Jefferson, right? That's what you tell J.J. McCarthy. You go see where 18 is, chuck it near him, right? Like this is not complex. It is more complex because they have a bunch of siloed receivers who exist in siloed roles. Romeo Doubs on the outside in the red zone, Christian Watson down the field, Jaden Reed from the slot. Like you still have to find a way to kind of play a little bit, spread and shred a little bit, distribute the wealth. That's just how they built this room. But they have the requisite offensive firepower. The wide receiver room is enough. Now, the really, really big thing is Reed coming back and how he affects yards after the catch. Before Kraft went down, the Packers had, as a team, about 220 yards after the catch over expectation. That's a next-gen stat. Basically says, hey, like guys who are breaking tackles, guys who are outrunning angles, who's creating more yak than we thought they would. As a team, they had about 220. Tucker Kraft had 110 of those, right? It was all coming from the tight end. Josh Jacobs was second at 60. In Watson and in Golden and in Dobbs and in Wicks, you don't have tackle breakers. These are not guys who create after the catch, that turn those incremental, dink and dunk passes that LaFleur prefers here. and turns those into explosive gains. Reed is the guy who's got to do it. And so the big linchpin to figure out in November and December is how healthy is he coming off of the foot and how many tackles is he able to break. If you can get playmaking from Reed, you do have enough.
I forgot who said it, Ben Solak, but somebody had mentioned, some analysts here in the last couple of weeks, was instead of trying to scheme everybody open, sometimes just call a play and let your player beat the player lined up against him. It was kind of advocating for Matt LaFleur to do that a little bit more than he's done in the past. What say you about that?
I think it's an easy thing to say. I think it's a very hard thing to actually manifest in practice. Like you brought up the play action passing thing. I would say an offense that has a very heavy play action rate in the first 3 weeks is manufacturing who the ball should go to, right? Is deciding, all right, this is going to be the play, this is where the space is going to be. And then the offense that since week 4 has been 26 is saying, hey, pick a side, make a read. Like, you're our supercomputer quarterback. You can do this well. And so it's hard to, from the outside, watch the film and find a little statistical dials that indicate, oh, this is how much this team trusts their quarterback relative to how much that team trusts this wide receiver to win in space, so on and so forth. The overall sentiment there, which is, hey, if we've invested a top 40 pick in Christian Watson and a top 25 pick in Matthew Golden, can we just give these guys some more one-on-one opportunities that aren't 45 yards down the field? I think that comment is very legitimate. I think an improvement in this offense would be, hey, instead of Love and Matt LaFleur being the two, weight-bearing posts of this whole thing, let's just let Golden have a great game. Let's let Golden just whack that opposing slot corner and then have him be a little bit more of a load-bearing unit for us. I think that's legitimate, but it's always a hard thing to say from the outside. Like, just give the guys more run. You don't really know what's happening in the room. It's hard to read out the plays in that way. Sometimes ideas like that can just be too nebulous.
Go ahead, promote a wave. Anything you want to promote on the way out here?
Ben Solak at ESPN. That's the socials. That's where the column is up every single Tuesday. You can read my thoughts on the NFL week. It's a good time over here. We have fun.
Very good. Benjamin Solak, I appreciate you, man. Have a good one. Hopefully we can do this again in the future.
Take care, fellas. Bye-bye.